secondary methods, but I don't get my college textbooks second semester. And it's kind of in plain terms, but I say it's a true false question. You require band or work skill, and that would be better musically than you all, unless you're walking. Because we have heard some groups that actually sing better than the musicianship that's here. It's a very tragic matter. But, you know, the first thing I don't want the musicians somewhere else. I want the musicians to use the education that can hear. I'm not talking about the best fiddle player or the best singer, but they can hear this high level of musicianship. And then we'll try to teach them how to get it. So, you know, it's so evident in both groups. I wanted to talk to you about something on the first piece. I have a couple of kind of musical rules because I think they're what musicians do. And a lot of times students depend on their teacher, okay, for all of the musicianship and to impart this to you. But there's a couple of rules other than singing good vowels in tune, you know, and all that. But it's like what to do with repeated notes on a given, or more than one note on a syllable. All right, so I'm going to give, if you do the Chinese piece, so when you have, and I'm not real good with this, I just got back from Asia, but, and I'm not sure when we do a piece like this, like that we're actually doing it as the Chinese would, because their tone is a little different. But what I'm talking about is when we have this going up and this coming down, when we have more than one note on the syllable, I kind of think that the second note ought to be a little softer than the first. Rather than just because it goes up and it has two notes on it, not too loud. So if you'll start that, I'll stop and whatever. And sometimes they've got written like this has a crescendo on it. But I think you can crescendo over the top of it, even though you're putting less emphasis on the second note. Yeah, exactly. As you do the overall crescendo or bass. I just think God likes that better. I don't know. I think what happened, I think we get in our mind, higher must be louder. And I think once you've said what you're saying, which is on the first note of the syllable, then back off and go to the next. It's just a different way. And if you do that on your own, because a lot of times we do this with text accents, with non-accent syllables on a high note. And I love, by the way, on the last part what you did with the hallelujah. It got out of on the Virginia Chattel, where it got out of what I call the hallelujah chorus syndrome, which is the last syllable must be the loudest. So start this a little bit. Let's just kind of see if they get it, and if they do, we'll move on. Stress. Yeah, I've got another one I want to do. So you know, we'll kind of just. Okay, so now let's go to another thought. Another thought I have, I'm just trying to kind of give you things that